Hello, everyone. My name is Robin,
And Raya.
and this is Robin and Raya's Amazing Race.
Amazing Race.
We are excited to come to you again this week to talk to you guys just a little bit more about our journey and things that have helped us along the way. Really, the purpose of us creating this channel is to be a source of light and hope and inspiration to anyone who is wanting to build a successful and sustainable home-based business. And through this vehicle, create a life that you've always imagined.
And y'all, we really want to add value by sharing these weekly tips and trainings to really help people in your sphere of influence achieve true wellness in all four pillars of health.
Absolutely. So today we are going to talk a little bit about how you can have it all. I don't know about you, Rhea, but we went to college together and we both had aspirations of doing, amazing things with our career. And I don't know about you, girl, but I did want to eventually start a family and get married, but that really wasn't at the top of mind when I was in college. Like, I was one of those chicks that was like super driven about my career and my purpose. It has a little bit to do with my background. Like, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and I kind of wanted to be a career woman. I did. But I still had a desire to have kids and have a family and get married and all that good stuff. And so when I started my career, I think a big part of me realized, okay, how am I going to do amazing things in my career and still balance being a mom and a wife? Like, it was just getting really tricky for me because being in the field of education, I think a lot of people think, oh, well, you go be an educator because you want to be a mom or you want to have, like, a cool schedule, with your kids. But it really is the opposite for educators in many cases,
Mhm.
because if your kids don't go to the same school with you or you're on a different schedule, then teachers end up having, like, getting the short end of the stick with their kids most of the time, like not able to go to the kids' events because they're always having to be in the classroom. And so I know when I got introduced to Plexus, I did not get introduced to Plexus for the business, but for the products. But then when I started to see that there was an opportunity attached to it, I really did start to think about this being a viable option, and for several reasons. So, Rhea, talk to me a little bit about why this became a viable option for you and kind of where you were when you started this journey.
So I'll try to give a quick background because I like to talk. But I like Robin said, we went to undergrad together. And then I got my master's and I went into working for Big Pharma, but I actually wanted to go into, community health, and I was able to eventually go into that. But reached a point after I had my first child that I needed to stay home and become her caregiver. And as she progressed and did great and I had more freedom, I was, I could have gone back, but I started with my first child. I now have three. We're both girl moms. We have three daughters. And it got to a point where I was at that kind of crossroad where did I need to stay home? And my youngest, she's 4. And when I started Plexus, I was like, okay, when I started, sharing the business, I remember thinking in the next year or two, she's going to be in school full time. And does it make sense for me to be home? And I wanted to stay home, but it's so funny. I've always wanted to work from home, because even in high school, when we had to like write down we had this project, what we want to be on your senior book, and then you write what you want to be. I always put, a stay-at-home mom, a philanthropist, and a psychologist. So I wanted to be home with my kids. I wanted to be a philanthropist. I wanted to just like give money everywhere. And I wanted to see patients out of my home, like they used to do on like the shows in the 80s, right? So, anywho, fast forward to this crossroad that I was in, and I really wanted to figure out how I could be successful in something that I was passionate about and stay home. And I say stay home, but when you're a mom, you're not really staying home unless, of course, it's during a pandemic. But and so that's where I was with Plexus, and I knew that I started as a customer, and I knew that if I gave this a go, it would be with Plexus. If I gave this work from home, that Plexus would be a very viable option, like you say, because I saw what it was doing with you and for you. And it worked out wonderfully. It worked out wonderfully because here I am a year later,
Right.
and I am actually the main breadwinner of our household, and I have not skipped a beat with my kiddos. And I love that. I love and adore that because I really did not want to go back into a traditional setting, but I also did not want to, I wanted to be able to be here with my kiddos. So like on cue, oh my goodness, the 4-year-old just walked in, like
You
on
want to
cue.
be there with your kiddos, and there your
And
kiddo.
here I am. Okay. Mommy's working.
Well,
We'll
let
have
me add this. What's so crazy is that you said we need to do a
I'm
whole
so
nother
sorry, Robin.
call. Oh, girl, it's fine. We need to do a whole nother call about like writing it down, writing the vision and making it plain. Um, because it's funny that you mentioned your senior book. I have literally everything that was written in my senior book has come to pass. Like it's
Really?
the craziest thing ever. That's a whole nother call. So I won't go down that road. But it's funny that you had in your senior book that you wanted to be a philanthropist and you wanted to be at home with your kids and that you wanted to be a psychologist because guys, newsflash, you actually end up working a lot of those psychology skills within this business. I was a psychology major. That was my major in college.
Mhm.
And I cannot tell you how much I have put that degree to use within this business because we're in the people development business and you're dealing with encountering tons of men and women that are facing a bunch of fears, a bunch of personal setbacks, a bunch of self-limiting beliefs. And your psychology degree actually has been super useful in you helping to get a lot of people push past their fears and get out of their comfort zone and really walk into their true purpose. So it's crazy how things come full circle, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
But but I love that you said, you know, that you really did want it all. Like I wanted it all. I wanted to be really successful. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm super driven. So like I didn't, and not to say I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but I wanted to like
Mhm.
make a major impression in the world. Like I didn't just want to be in a corporate job or just be an educator. And those jobs are amazing. Those careers are amazing. Like everything that anyone chooses to do, you know, if they find joy in it, then that's great. But I wasn't finding that just completely fulfilling purpose and even leading a school, you know, because I was a school administrator. I still felt like there was a lid on my capacity, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And so that's why this ended up being the perfect opportunity for me because it was like I could be home with my kids. And it's funny that you say, Raya, that, you know, at first you had to be at home because of your daughter, because of Claire. But then you realize, you know, once she started progressing and getting older and maturing, that you really didn't have to be at home, but you wanted to be there. Well, it was kind of the same thing with my daughter. My daughter had a severe asthma attack in second grade. It was literally the semester before I walked away and quit to do Plexus full time. She had a severe asthma attack, was in ICU for 3 days. And that was kind of the writing on the wall for me. It was like, I need to be home with my kids during these formative years because she had this horrible asthma attack that sent her into ICU at school and no one even knew. No one even said anything. You know, it's like she had labored breathing and no one even called me.
Yeah.
And so I said all that to say that our stories are still very similar because at that point in time, I realized like I really wanted to be at home with my girls. They were 3 and 6 then. They're now 10 and 13. And but I still had the desire to make an impression, make an impact, create a ripple effect of change in my community, still be able to have the flexibility to work whenever I wanted to, however I wanted to. And this vehicle of Plexus has given us the ability to do that. And I'm just super grateful, girl, especially in the middle of a crazy year like 2020, in the middle of a global pandemic. Like, there would have been no other option for me, right?
Right.
Like, there would not have been.
Yep.
Both of our kids are virtual school, like, they're at home every day.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would have had no other option. It was so funny. I'm going to talk about this in just a bit on social media, but in the month of October, either the month of September or October, it said that almost 900,000 women left the workforce in just 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
that is a staggering number. And I believe the article that I read, I believe that the reason why women are leaving the workforce in droves is because a lot of times, especially now with us having to wear so many hats during this pandemic,
Mhm.
women can't justify even the money that they're making in order to, you're either going to choose your family or you're going to choose your health or you're going to choose your 9 to 5. And
Right.
women are making the choice, I'm just going to walk away.
Mhm.
And so I'm just so grateful, honestly, to even have the ability to make the type of income that we make for our families, both of us being the primary breadwinners of our families at this point. It's
Mhm.
just such a blessing to be able to do what we do, but still not skip a beat. Like,
Right.
my daughter will come in here in the next few minutes, just like Andy James did, and we'll be like, Mommy, can you help me with this problem? Or Mommy, can you organize this for me or whatever? And I'm
Right.
able to do that while I'm still working and impacting thousands of people on our team. So anyway, I just love that this is an option for us, and I'm grateful that I get to do it with you, girl.
Oh, I'm grateful I get to do with you, Mama.
All right, guys. So we're going to wrap this one up for this week, but we are going to end with one of our favorite scriptures that really prompted us to even call this YouTube channel Robin and Ray's Amazing Grace. It is from Hebrews 12:1 and 2. And it says, Therefore, since we are surrounded by a huge crowd of witnesses to the life of faith, let us strip off every weight that slows us down, especially the sin that so easily trips us up, and let us run with endurance the race that God has set before us.
And until next time, y'all, God bless. Run your best race. And this is real life. So apologies for the 4-year-old, but just God bless and run your best race, y'all.
All right, everybody. See you next time. Bye.